Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 12 of Field. I hope everything is going great. So we're going to dive right on into it. So you have one written assignment this week, which is due Sunday at 11:59. And you're going to talk about two different things that have to do with you kind of processing things in the field. And the first thing is your use of personal reflection and self-correction. So identify feedback you have received in supervision that prompted you to reflect on your professional and use of self and how you use such feedback to self-correct. So you want to give, an instance or a couple of examples of being able to use yourself, and you want to be able to identify how you also self-correct. So I can give you an example where I think a lot of the times, just my personality, I struggle with sometimes pushing clients and kind of being assertive and holding them accountable just because I'm empathetic. But I've learned through supervision that it's okay to be empathetic and assertive, and that they can, complement each other and they don't have to be two separate entities. So for me, the use of self is very powerful because I want to be able to be a person where my clients and my staff feel like they can come to me and share things with me that may be vulnerable and get valuable feedback, while also holding them accountable for accomplishing their goals. So that's just a little piece of things that I've been working on in the field. Even after being in the field for some time, there's always, room for growth and use of self and self-correction. So that's an example. So I'm looking for an example and kind of, you maximizing what you received in supervision as a focal point to kind of self-correct or kind of grow from. So make sure that you have an example to work from. It's just not good enough to say I don't have one or I don't remember one. I want you guys to really dig deep and really respond to part one. The other thing is your attention to professional roles and boundaries. So you're going to discuss a time and field when you may have needed to remind yourself a professional role and the need to use boundaries to protect your client. So this is something that may come up really often depending on your field placement, and the populations you're serving. So for me, working with the youth, there was one student a couple of years ago who was abruptly taken from the home and just really struggled to maintain stability at school because her home life had been kind of in an uproar. And so, I remember having a conversation with my husband where I was like, I really need to take a student in. What do you think about that? And for me, what I processed in supervision is that the reason why I wanted to take her in is because she really reminded me of myself, and I wanted to save her, much like I think other people have saved me in various avenues of my childhood. So just being able to be mindful of that, being able to be vulnerable enough to share that in supervision, and just kind of knowing that, although it is a great gesture for me as being her therapist and also the director of the program, I wouldn't be able to also be a foster parent for her. And that became a boundary issue that, I instantly crossed in the sake of trying to help, and just kind of knowing that, it helps us to kind of remain professional and kind of compliant with everything that's, embedded in the NASW. So that's just an example. I wanted to give you guys some ideas to kind of work from, but I'm interested to see what you guys share. In addition to that, we're also going to have a few reminders that I wanted to check in with you guys. The first one is just reminding your field instructors that mid-year evaluations are due at the end of week 14. So they have received an email from a Widener staff member who sent out emails on my behalf just to kind of help me out. And so they may, already kind of done them or in the midst of doing them. But if you guys can remind them as you're in the field this week, that'd be awesome. The other thing is to be sure to complete 5 peer-to-peer discussions. So that can be a combination of your peer-to-peer discussions, also with your live field discussions, or if you've attended 4 to 5 live field discussions, it can just be either or. So it really does depend on you know, your preference. And so we actually will be having live field discussions up to week 14. So if you guys want to RSVP this week, please do so by tomorrow at noon. The other thing is your second process recording is due at the end of week 14. So I would also be very mindful of trying to get that done this week or early next week so that you have enough time to have your field instructor review it, give you feedback, and sign off on it. The other thing is I will be checking your timesheets just to make sure that we're up to date and everyone is really filling in their hours as we come to the end of the first semester. So if you guys can have those to me by Sunday by noon, that would be awesome, via Sonia. I'll be sure to go in and check. And if you plan to, well, I kind of shared that with the live field discussion. And I know I'm just a little bit behind with the weeks 10 and 11. I know 11 you guys just admitted, but I wanted to finish out week 10 by yesterday. So I haven't gotten around to all of the grading for week 10, but we'll be sure to do so by this Sunday. In addition to week 11. So if you guys can just hang in there with me, be patient, that'd be awesome. So in the meantime, I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions or concerns. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.